Dallas is an urban metropolis located in Texas. It is the ninth largest city in the United States with over 1 million citizens living there. So of course it is going to be densely populated with people commuting in and out for work and other activities. However, in the background there was a large complaint regarding the cycling lanes of Dallas. Dallas claims to have 74 miles of bike infrastructure including buffered lanes and painted guides. But only 5 miles of lanes are on street and protected, while other cities such as Austin have 50 miles and Houston with 22 miles of protected lanes. Dallas is one of the least friendly cities for biking in the United States according to city ratings. There exists a bike master plan for the city of Dallas that creates an overall network from 2011. This bikeway system has not been finished and has barely made any progress, however. This is the full map of bike lanes in Dallas that they call the regional veloweb. There are a lot of lanes covered here, but if you look closely at the key, you can see that only the purple lanes are completed cycling lanes and are mainly located in the central business districts of Dallas and Fort Worth. This makes sense as the central business districts are, well, the center of business where many businesses and commercial buildings are focused. This means cyclists would be able to commute through the orange lanes to the purple lanes and reach their workplace. Except for the fact that orange lanes are lanes still being planned and take up a large majority of the map, and a minuscule of these planned lanes have been funded, meaning in order to commute from work through bicycle, you would need to live in Dallas already, ride your bicycle through unsafe conditions to the lanes, or drive your car to the biking lanes in order to ride your bike, which makes these lanes useless for those purposes. Here is the 66-mile bike trail plan from 2013. It connects 5 cities together from Fort Worth to Dallas and may be useful for commuting to work from the suburban areas to either Dallas or Fort Worth via bicycle. It has also received proper funding, so why is it only expected to be completed a decade later? Not much progress has been made in the past 10 years regarding the 2011 bicycle plans. Even then, the 2011 plan was an update to the 1985 Dallas bike plan, which also never came to fruition, meaning these plans have been existing for over 35 years. It's obvious that despite there being a complete 76-page master plan created in 2011, the city has not implemented this plan fully, despite the increasing demand for biking lanes with climate concerns. In fact, the budget allocated for bike lanes has been $500,000 each year, which is only enough for the poor guide markings on the biking lanes, which do very little for the safety of cyclists. The budget was increased to $1 million only a few years ago in 2019. The problem of that is bike lanes can be dangerous if not implemented properly and safely, which may be a factor in the little progress made for these plans, as infrastructure takes an incredible amount of funding. Even if the maps make it seem like there is little effort required, it takes a lot of work and planning for infrastructure to be fully implemented. It's not that the bike plan is a bad idea. Austin has a similar plan that had a quarter already finished by 2017. The plan was created in 2014. It includes a comprehensive 266-page plan to connect all 11 counties and addresses barriers for the cycling community and existing conditions with lanes to improve upon. Other cities in the United States, such as Portland, have thriving cycling communities too, and Portland even has their own cycling website. It is also not a problem with zoning. Zoning of areas do not prevent lanes, trails, and roads from being established, as they are not buildings, and these areas already have bike lanes planned in mind. The spaces on those pathways and what is placed on them is affected. In dedicated residential zones, for example, there are places on roads for cars, and you will only really see cars in these areas. Dallas is a mainly commercial and industrial urban center though, and the bike plans focus on biking lanes in these areas to commute to necessary services. The problem lies in the fact that the city of Dallas has not funded the projects by the community enough to the point where not many people acknowledge the lanes, as seen in this video on Twitter, where a bus is seen driving on a biking lane. Cycling has not been recognized fully by Dallas, and that is the reason cycling is so low and dangerous compared to other cities in the United States who have thriving cycling communities, such as Portland with a 6.3% of commuters using bikes. Only 0.3% of people in Dallas commute to work using bicycles, according to census data. What the city of Dallas needs is a safe, off-road bike trail that connects Dallas to Fort Worth like the planned 66-mile bike trail. This specific trail is ideal for Dallas, as it would connect the suburban areas to the urban center of Dallas and allow for commuting without the use of cars, reducing the gas and emission in the air and heavy traffic congestion in Dallas that many citizens dislike. It is not a matter of public support, as many cyclists support the plan and desire off-road lanes. It's a matter of funding, as the infrastructure in Dallas has a low budget and is not sufficiently funded, according to Vox. My plan is to connect the existing trails to the planned veloweb, so that you can go from Fort Worth to the Dallas Regional Veloweb, instead of dedicating new land for an entirely new lane, as the current plan is a good plan that would function. It is better to connect existing lanes to increase connectivity between areas, so cyclists can go to different areas. If there are many lanes that do not connect, then there's no point in having them, as you would have to drive there, or ride your bike in unsafe conditions to get to another dedicated lane. Another thing that would be needed is the improvement of existing infrastructure. On the map of the Dallas Veloweb, you can see that there are still a few fully completed lanes, but they are low quality and not kept up to the best standards. The Fort Worth to Dallas lane has already received funding, so it would not cost more money for this plan, as the projects previously mentioned have received little funding for the large amount of lanes planned across a large area. This lane is a single lane, which makes it easier to fund and design. It would allow for marathons, bike rallies, and many other community competitions and events, as well as promoting tourism, as it connects to trails such as the Trinity Skyline Trail and the Lone Star Park. These are all pictures of the lanes that the Fort Worth to Dallas lane would connect to, such as the Trinity Park Trail, the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard Trail, the Mike Lewis Trail, the Mountain Creek Preserve Trail, and the Santa Fe Trail. This plan implements well with the modern concern for sustainability in urban areas, as it can help improve walkability, decrease traffic congestion, and reduce carbon emissions. Due to all of these reasons, it is evident that Dallas needs to implement these bike lanes as soon as possible for the community to catch up with its neighboring cities and the push for new urbanism.